they get out of the baseline, running third into home and are rounding that. It could be a little slippery. The only thing that everybody's concerned about is injuries when it comes to a field like this, being damp as it is. The cleats are completely filled with mud, so you don't get much grip on the infield as you're turning the corners as a base runner, or possibly if you're looking for a fly ball and not really paying attention where you're going as far as your feet are concerned. So that could be a problem, could be a hazard here this afternoon. 2 7-inning ball games lined up for these two teams this afternoon. I'd like to remind you to come out and support the Lady Chaps. They've come into the contest 6 wins, 17 losses for the season, all non-conference play. We're going to go back and take a quick 60-second break. We'll be back with the top half of the first inning. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball. Getting ready for the top half of the first inning, playing a 7-inning ball game. Top half with Katie Jackson in the pitching circle, winds up and delivers, showing butt, pulls back at the last minute. It's low and inside for ball one, and this ball game is underway. Lauren Dester, the batter, she's a sophomore from Weber Falls. She'll be playing third base defensively for the Jets. A right-handed batter. We have no batting averages on the Northern Oklahoma Jets, so we'll do our best just to give you as much information as we have. It's very limited on the opposing team this afternoon. Outside pitch, ball 2, so it's a 2-ball, no strike count on Dester. Over at first base, we have Amanda Cadillo. Tori Hamilton is the second baseman. Amanda Fife is the shortstop. Amber Cadillo is over at third base. And catching is Corey Kaiser to make up the infield. Harley Gibson over in left field. McKenna Anthalon in center. And Brittany Ponder is in right field to make up the outfield for the Lady Chaps. Strike one call, so we got 2 balls, 1 strike count on Dester. And here's another call strike right down the middle. Good strong fastball by Jackson to even the count up at 2 apiece. Katie is a right-handed pitcher facing a right-handed batter here this afternoon. Sun shining brightly out here, blue skies, a little bit on the nippy side, but it'll be just right for the players. Wearing short sleeve jerseys, some do not even have an undershirt, so they're not concerned about the coolness of it. Here's a foul ball back behind us. Stands 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pops back on top of the covered areas. And by the way, you've got your choice when you come out to see these ball games. Down the first or third base lines, it's covered, or behind home plate, it's wide open. So you might want to consider sitting behind home plate with the sun to get a little bit more warmth. Might be a little chilly in the cooler areas this afternoon. Playing 14 innings, 2 7-inning ball games this afternoon. Dester, the first batter in the batter's box with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Wind is coming in from almost from the direct west. It's almost west-southwesterly. A low pitch for ball 3. We've got our first full count. It's a crosswind, basically going from third base to second base. It's not going completely from third to first, but somewhat of a crosswind. Could be a slight advantage for batters. Swings and misses for strike 3. And that is all for Dester, out number 1, and that brings up Avery Walker. Avery is the center fielder, a sophomore from Marlow, Oklahoma. So nobody on base. We're in the top half of the first inning on a Friday afternoon. This ball game is a makeup date. All is hit foul back behind us, just over the press box for strike 1. Ball game, this series was originally scheduled to be played last Wednesday, but due to the bad weather we had all week long, off and on, had to postpone this until today. And to be honest with you, I was out here yesterday. Low pitch, ball 1 strike. I was out here about noontime yesterday, just looking over the facilities, and both the baseball field and the softball field completely covered with snow. And I thought to myself, there's no way we're going to play a ball game today, but here we are. Ball is hit down the third base line, foul ball, strike two, 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Avery Walker. The Chaparrals are going to be going to Weatherford tomorrow. They will finish up their series with Weatherford. They played them on Tuesday, lost here 12-1 and 6-0. That was their first 2 conference games. So now they go to Weatherford tomorrow to complete that series. Ground ball past the shortstop out into center field. It will be McKenna Umphron picking that ball up, but a base hit chalked up for Walker. And she is the first base runner of the afternoon. It brings up Shives. Salika Shives. She is the pitcher, will be the pitcher this afternoon. Where's number 25? Sophomore from Binger. Not sure exactly where Binger is. B-I-N-G-E-R, Binger. Bats left-handed, runner at first base, 1 out. Showing bunt, goes down to second base, slides in safely. There's a throw down from our catcher down to the shortstop covering the second base bag. The throw was way short, and sliding in safely is Walker, so she's in scoring position, 1 out. And the batter is Shives. Looks like the pitching circle may be dry enough for the pitchers not to slip. Swing and a miss for a strike. You have to be concerned for the pitchers because when they throw that leg out to get a plant after they've delivered the ball, they're pretty vulnerable as far as being able to catch themselves. They've got to make sure that those cleats get a good hold on the ground. They can do some damage to legs and so forth, muscles. To make sure that's good and dry. It looks like it's pretty dry, the complete pitching circle, except right at the edge, right at the near edge here. Might be just a little bit damp still. Runner at second base. Wind up in the pitch. Ball is hit to the shortstop. Goes to first base. Good play. That's going to be Fife going over to Cadillo at first base for a 6-3 play, out number 2, but it does move Walker to third base. There was almost some interference there. In fact, Walker was right, just almost had to jump over the ball. It was a ground ball all the way to Fife, but she managed to get to third base without touching the ball, and our shortstop was able to get that ball out of the dirt, makes a nice throw over to first base. That brings up Brooke Tate. She's a right-hander, plays first base. Ball is hit hard, but it goes foul. Back out of play for strike 1. Brooke is from Moreland, Oklahoma, freshman. She is the one of 2 freshmen starting for the Jets. The other 7 are sophomores, and according to Coach Roberts, all of these sophomores, she said she used the word all, so I don't know whether that's completely 100%, but she said all my freshmen are back as sophomores, so she was very pleased that most of the kids from last year's team are back here now as the seniors, so to speak, in this community college environment. Right-handed batter. Runner at third base. So wind up and pitch. It was a high pitch, but she swung and missed for a call for a swing and miss, strike 2. Taylor Todd is on deck. Brooke Tate looks down the third base line. Looks at her coach, Jamie Roberts. A word of encouragement. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Here's a pitch. Ground ball past the pitcher, goes to the shortstop, feels it nicely over to first base. Good job on the fight over to first base for a 6-3 play, out number 3, and that is all for the Jets. They scored no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. No score after 1/2 inning to play. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Vernon College Ladies Chaparral Softball. Lady Shaps coming up to bat for the bottom half of the first inning. They will use Amanda Cadillo along with Brittany Ponder and Amanda Fife. Those will be the first three batters. In the pitching circle is Salika Shives. Salika is a left-handed pitcher. She also bats left-handed. Again, no pitching stats for Shives. Infield consists of Brooke Taylor over at first base, Bailey Keene is a second baseman, Taylor Todd over at shortstop, and Lauren Dester at third base. Jasmine White is catching to make up the infield. We'll get the outfield for you in a moment. So Amanda in the batter's box right now, and the officials say the coach from Northern Oklahoma, you've got to get inside the dugout. She was outside. She was sitting on a tub of balls and just trying to get a little better view. And they're going to say, for safety reasons, you got to get back into the dugout. So that's the reason for a slight delay here. And Amanda Cadillo in the batter's box with a 1-0 count. Nobody on base. She's the first batter being used by the Lady Shaps this afternoon. Wind up pitch. It's high. The ball two. The wind is going to help as far as drying this infield out. It looks so much better than it did about an hour ago. Got the outside corner for strike one call. Still pretty muddy in the batter's box. I say muddy, that's an exaggeration. It's not muddy, it's damp and very loose, I guess, if you will. Here's the ball hit down the first base line, goes foul for strike two. And particularly down the third base line, a lot of darker spots, which indicate a little more moisture in that part of the infield. And then around third base and behind third base seems to be the wettest parts of the infield right now. Right where the catcher normally positions herself, it's a little bit damp, and I think she's going to have good enough traction where she is. If she gets closer to the backstop, it's a little bit dry there. There's a ball hit hard. Left field, it is a home run. I didn't think it had enough on it. Over the left field fence. That is Amanda Cadillo leading off for the Lady Shaps. So that ball was sailing. The left fielder was going back, and I thought she had a pretty good beat on the ball, but it zoomed over the left field fence. So the news head comes off the scoreboard, and Amanda will lead off and scores run number one for the Lady Shaps in the bottom half of the first inning. That'll bring up a Brittany Ponder. She is the right fielder, a sophomore from Mansfield. She bats .313 for the season. So that'll get the young ladies off to a good start here this afternoon. Ponder, a lefty. The pitcher is a left-handed pitcher. Outside, ball one. Amanda Fife on deck. Carly Gibson in the hole. Non-conference action here this afternoon. Ball is hit, ground ball to the second baseman, fills it nicely, underhands it. King over to take for a 4-3 play, out number one. That'll bring up Amanda Fife. Fife, freshman from Louisiana. She is the sophomore, also bats left-handed. Batting average of .381 coming into the contest. Once again, the Lady Shaps wearing their baseball-style pants, come just below the knees. They have the blue leggings, gray uniforms with a blue pinstripe down the outside of the leg, wearing gray short-sleeve jerseys, blue numbers trimmed in white, blue lettering trimmed in white. Strike one on Fife. And the Jets have elected to go with their full-length pants, black, a little red and white stripe on the outside of the leg, black jerseys, red numbers, red lettering and white numbers. Low and inside, it's a big ball too. 2 balls, 1 strike count on Fife. Wind up by Shives. Outside, got away from her on that one. Ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike now on Amanda. playing a 7-inning ball game here this afternoon. Lined up and gets a piece of it, but fouls it back right over the backstop. It was just over the backstop, and thank goodness it's off to our left. I mean, with the last time outing, how short that backstop is. And several times during the season, we usually get a foul ball back here into the press box. Nobody on base, lefty in the batter's box. Wind up, ball is hit down the third base line, fouls it back out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes on 5. Three flags out in center field. Of course, the American flag on top, Texas flag in the middle, and Vernon College flag in the third place position on the flagpole. Ball is hit foul down the third base line, just out of play. Third baseman thought she might have had an opportunity to retrieve that ball, but it faded back on the other side of the fence. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fife had already made her way down to first base. She was not taking any chances. Picks the bat back up. Coach Melvin Jenkins down the third base line. Assistant coach, Coach Lilly, down the first base line. That is high and inside for ball 4, and Fife very patient with the batter's box. Will walk, taking her place at first base, brings up Carly Gibson. Number 18, a sophomore from Wichita Falls. Left fielder, defensively for the Lady Shaps. We may be using quite a few softballs here this afternoon because some of those balls may get a little muddy if they hit the ground for whatever reason, whether it's from a pitching point of view or maybe a foul ball. And I'm sure the pitchers would love to get a fresh ball, so we may have a variety of softballs being used this afternoon. Line drive, oh my goodness, got caught in a double play. That was Fife making her way all the way to second base. She was 2/3 of the way off of her base just about that time that ball hit the bat. A line drive by Gibson to the second baseman. She was able to get that ball for out number 2 and threw over to first base for the double play to end the inning with 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We have completed 1 and the Lady Shaps lead 1-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball. Already getting ready for the top half of the second inning. The Northern Oklahoma Jets in the batter's box. Getting ready for the top of the second. It is a 1-0 lead for the Lady Shaps. The Jets using full batters back in the top half of the first. Taylor Todd will lead off in this inning. Here's number 14. She's the shortstop. Sophomore from Sapulpa. Katie Jackson remains the pitcher. She's a right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Bright blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. The low inside pitch made Todd dance out of the batter's box. Ball 1. Plenty of room for you to come out and support these Lady Shaps. I'd love to see you out here on these home games. Spend a lot of time on the road in the out-of-town games. Nice to stay home. Love to see a hometown crowd out to support them. 3 balls and no strikes on Taylor Todd. Waiting for the pitch. Right over the middle, strike 1. Todd forcing Jackson to deliver the strike. She was going to sit on it and not swing under any conditions, and to right down the middle to make it a 3-1 count. wind up delivery. This one got the inside corner to make it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I like the ump this afternoon. He not only gives a quick visual, but he also, you can hear him when he delivers that strike audible call loud enough for us to hear him even with our headset on. Ball was hit down the first baseline, foul territory, and Amanda Cadillo, apparently, did she miss that? Is that what happened? I couldn't see it, okay? It was in foul territory. Amanda had an opportunity to make a catch in foul territory. I can't see down the first baseline in foul territory because of the covered stands, and apparently she missed that opportunity, so tied back into batter's box with a 3-2 count. Ground ball goes to our third baseman. Sister to sister, third baseman over to first base, and over to Amanda. A 5-3 play, out number 1. We're to Bailey King. Bailey is a sophomore, plays second base, bats right-handed. Top of the second, 1 away, nobody on base. Inside, ball 1. Lacey Shipp is on deck. Jasmine White in the hole. Hard hit ball into left field. One hopper picked up by Carly Gibson out in left field. A nice clean base hit for Bailey King, safe at first base with 1 out. Just over the third baseman's head. A line drive out in left field. Lacey Shipp is the right fielder, sophomore from Perkins. She's a right-hander. It's a high pitch, gets away from our catcher. She loses it for a moment, goes all the way back to the backstop, and finally throws back to her pitcher, but not before King trots down to second base in scoring position. He's got a free ride down there under no pressure. Lacey in the batter's box with a 1-0 count. Swings and hits one down the third base line, but it's foul. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Even though the sun is shining, it's just a bit nippy. If you're coming out, you might want to wear a light jacket. I don't think you need to bundle up completely. Some folks have on what would be considered sweat tops and some things like that, maybe some hats, but sun shining. Oh, there we go with that, just what we were talking about. Foul ball right at us, a little high this time, but hit the top of the press box, just above the windows. Another 4 feet lower, and he would have had to hit the floor. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lacey Shipp, the batter. High pitch gets away from the catcher. That would be a wild pitch because that catcher, Kaiser, extended her glove. She got a piece of it, but it was just well above her, and we're going to call that a wild pitch to give King an opportunity to trot down to third base. Shipp still in the batter's box with a 2-2 count. Jackson winds up, delivers down the third base line. A hard hit ball, but a ground ball just fouled just to the left of the bag. I don't think our third baseman would have had enough reaction time to field that ball had it been fair. That would have scored a run and probably would have gone for at least 1 extra base. So we're lucky that went just to the left of the foul line. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shipp back in. Lines up. Ball was popped up infield fly. First baseman says she's got it. Makes the catch for out number 2 and keeps the runner at third base. Nicely done by Amanda Cadillo. That brings up Jasmine White. There's number 21, sophomore from Moore, Oklahoma. Well, when I think of Moore, Oklahoma, I think of all the tragedies they've had in terms of stormy weather with tornadoes. I think within about a 3 or 4 year period of time, it's been devastating in that neck of the woods. Mike over the plate for a call, strike 1 on White. Infield has dried up considerably just since we started this ball game. Ball is hit into right field. It will go fair. Yes, it is fair down the baseline. And a right fielder, Brittany Ponder, goes over to get that ball, retrieve it, throws it back into the infield, but not before King has an opportunity to score to tie it up at 1 apiece. And White is safe at first base on a clean single, right down the baseline in fair territory. That brings up Caroline Hart. A ground ball to our shortstop, feels it nicely over to second base, and that's all they needed with 2 outs. That was Fife over to Hamilton for a 6-4 play at second base for out number 3. And that is all for the Jets. They scored, however, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Our score after 1.5 innings of play, tied up at 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Vernon College Ladies Chaparral Softball. Scoreboard's hard to see in the numbers. Some of the dots are out, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
The 3s look like 2s and vice versa.
And the 8s look like 0s. Are you not playing walk-up songs?
Bottom half of the second inning from Kirk Field, Mike Klappenbaugh with play-by-play action. Lady Shaps coming to bat with Amber Cadillo, followed by Tori Hamilton and Miranda Brochures. Brochures, that is. We'll get that one in a minute. Brochures serves as the VP. Amber is the third baseman, and Hamilton serves as the second baseman. So Amber batting for the first time this afternoon, and Shives is in the pitching circle. Lefty, outside ball 1. Lady Shaps come to the contest, 6 wins, 17 losses, all non-conference play. Ball is hit into right field. King there moves over, and she can't get it, so it will be Cadillo rounding first, going to second, and has a stand-up double. It was actually Ship, not King. It was a Lacey Ship out in the right field. Again, I couldn't really see the contact, if she made contact with the ball or not. Was it a clean? Okay, she was not able to get over to the ball and had to retrieve it there. So let's call it a double for Cadillo. She is at second base, nobody there, nobody out, I should say. And Tori Hamilton is the batter. And you get a ball very close to the foul line, down the first base or third base line, very difficult to see from our vantage point here. From Cash, Oklahoma, batting .250. There's number 5, second baseman for Lady Shaps. Wind up. Outside. White, the catcher, positioning that ball for the umpire to give him a second chance and as much time as he needed to see if he would change his mind there. Did not. Ball 2. Most of the time they don't. Ball is hit in. It's going to go shallow right field. It will drop in between the second baseman and the right fielder. Everybody's safe and sound. They look at the corners. It is Hamilton getting the clean single. Cadillo goes to third base. So with nobody out, Lady Shaps have runners at the corners. We're tied at 1 apiece in the bottom half of the second inning. Miranda Brochures is the batter. She's the DP this afternoon. Miranda is a sophomore from Arlington. Coach Jenkins says, give me a minute here. I need to talk to my third baseman and my batter. So they walk down the third base line. A 3-person meeting going on down that baseline. In the meantime, Coach Roberts adjusts her infield a bit, giving them instructions before the next batter. A little strategy going on between coaches. Borscher's a right-handed batter. Batting 182 coming to the contest. Showing bunt. Holds back, outside pitch. Ball one. Wind is a crosswind. It's going third base to basically second base. Seems to be picking up a bit. Here's a tipped butt. It stays in fair territory, trying to pick off the third base runner. Down in a run down. That makes the tag. Oh, and they've got another runner between second and third base, and they tag her out. They've got another runner going from first to second, but nobody's covering first base. They almost had a triple play there against the Lady Shaps. What happened is Borscher's bunted that ball in fair territory. She made her way down to first base, so that would be a fielder's choice as the catcher threw down to the third baseman as they caught Cadillo trying to come into home plate. They ran her down and picked her off for out number one. In the meantime, Hamilton rounded second base and she was halfway to third base. They picked her off for out number two. In the meantime, Borscher's was between first and second base. They would have picked her off, but nobody, no defensive person was at first base back and allowed Borscher's to get back to first base. That turned out to be an awkward base running for the Lady Shaps. So all of a sudden, with nobody out and two on base, we have two outs now and a runner at first base. McKenna Antolon is the batter. She is a center fielder, sophomore from Iowa Park. Wind up, and it's high. Ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike count on Antolon. You don't see that too often there. Base runners caught right in between the bases, 3 at one time. A ground ball goes right back to the pitcher, over to first base for a 1-3 play at first base, out number 3, and that is all for the Lady Shaps. They scored no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Our score, after 2 full innings of play, still tied at 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball. Wow, that wasn't good, was it? If that pitcher had come over to first base, would have been 3 outs.
Yeah.
Getting ready now for the top half of the 3rd inning. We're tied at 1 apiece after 2 full innings of play. It'll be Dester, top of the batting order, kicking it off for the Jets from Northern Oklahoma. Starting the 2nd round of batting. And Lauren, first time up at bat, struck out for out number 1. That was back in the 1st inning of play. Unusual play just before we left you for that commercial break. Could have ended up in a triple play, but the defense not able to get anybody over at first base, the Jets defense that is, but caught 2 base runners in between the bases for outs 2 and 3, I guess, or 1 and 2, excuse me. There were no outs at the time, outs 1 and 2, and could have had that triple play. So back to play we go here as we begin the top half of the 3rd inning. Dester is the batter. Katie Jackson remains the pitcher. Winds up, delivers. There's a ground ball to the shortstop, bobbles the ball, and cannot make the play. Amanda Fife looked like it's going to be a routine play. Got to give her an error, a catching error on that attempt. Dester should have been out at first base on a 6-3 play, but she's safe at first. And we'll give the first error of the afternoon to our shortstop, Amanda Fife. That brings up Avery Walker. Walker got a base hit her first time at bat, stranded at the third base bag back in the first inning. Strike one call on Walker. Sides on deck. Wind up, showing bunt, holds back, strike call. The catcher, Corey Kaiser, getting ready in case the runner decided to attempt a steal at second base. Everybody stays where they are. No balls, 2 strikes now on Walker. Ball is hit foul, back out of play, down the first base line into the parking lot. Gonna have a boo-boo on that ball, that's for sure. A good hard asphalt parking lot. No balls, 2 strikes for Walker. Sun is so bright, we've got some shadows now. Here's a line drive down the third base line, but it's foul. 2. No balls, 2 strikes on Hayway. And I would say at this point that the moisture on the field is not a factor anymore. Just, there's a little bit different discoloration, if you will, behind home plate, but I don't think it's a major effort now. The cleats might still be a little bit muddy, and I would assume as the girls come to bat, they're trying to wipe those off as much as possible. Back into the netting for strike 2 on a foul ball. But down the first base line, very playable between first and second. Nice, looks pretty dry. Between second and third, pretty dry right now. Down the third base line, still a little bit discolored, indicating it might be a little bit moist. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and that's all for Walker. Out number 1, that brings up Shines. Salika Shines. Grounding out her first time at bat to the shortstop back in the first inning, responsible for the second out. Bat's left-handed. Jackson winds up, delivers. Ball is hit into center field. Onto the line, coming up, charging, going almost within about 15 feet of what we call the frog's hair, where the grass meets the dirt, makes the catch for out number 2. It holds the runner at first base. Brings up Brooke Tate. She grounded out to the shortstop back in the first inning, responsible for the third out in the first inning. We're in the top of the third, and we're tied up at 1 apiece. Game scheduled for 7. Ground ball past the pitcher. Second baseman, can she field it? Goes, oh, everybody's safe. Nicely done. He was right past the pitcher, Jackson. Tried to get her glove hand on it, let it slip through. Our second baseman, Tori Hamilton, fielded the ball and tried to underhand it over to Fife, covering the second base bag, but just a little bit late. So Tate is safe at first base, and Dester is safe at second. Lauren Dester must be pretty quick to make her way from first base to second base with that play. Brings up Taylor Todd. We have 2 outs. The runners at first and second. Todd grounding out to the third baseman back in the second inning, responsible for the first out. Showing bunt, holds back. Strike 1, got a runner in, run down, and did they get her? Yes. Second base runner, almost to third base. Our catcher, Kaiser, threw down to our third baseman. They ran her down between second and third base, picked her off there for out number 3, and that is all for the Jets. They scored no runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on base. After 2 1/2 innings of play, we're still tied at 1. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball. You think the batter was supposed to get a piece of that one?
I think so.
Kind of unusual to run unless the coach told her to on that one.
Yeah.
From the campus of Vernon College, this is Mike Klappenbein. You're listening to KWLBC AM, KWLBC FM in Vernon. We're out at Kirk Field, home of the Lady Chaps. We're in non-conference play, doubleheader play. This is game one of a two-game series this afternoon. Non-conference between Vernon College and Northern Oklahoma Jets. Corey Kaiser is leading off in the bottom half of the third inning as we're tied at 1. Kaiser, the catcher, her first time at bat this afternoon. Shives, the pitcher, got the outside corner. Kaiser leaning over home plate, watching that ball, and just reluctant to swing, but it did hit the outside corner for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes on Corey. Oh, a line drive right back to the pitcher, got her ankle, and she's going to be safe. Let's recap what happened. That was a line drive and hit the ankle, the left ankle of pitcher Shives. She was not able to recover that ball. The ball kind of bounced off her ankle, went toward the first base bag. Brooke Tate, the first baseman, had to go over and retrieve that ball. No one was covering the bag, so Tate, with the ball in her hand, had nowhere to go with it and just had to watch Kaiser make her way to first base. So she gets an infield base hit, and pitcher Shives is they're going to give her time to walk it off. That happened in the last ball game, just about that same thing, that left inside foot or ankle. So the infield comes in, the umpires come out to make sure she's all right before they allow play to resume. She'll stay in. That will certainly sting. They're going to give her some warm-up pitches, let her make sure that the ankle's all right before we return to play. Runner at first base. We're in the bottom of the third, nobody out, and the top of the batting order will be coming up with Cadillo. The wind's starting to shift just a bit. When we started the ball game, it was almost predominantly from the west, and now it's shifted to basically the southwest. And that would mean that would definitely be an advantage to the batter, so it's going from home plate out to center field right now. The flags were, you could see the stars and stripes pretty easily before, and now they're kind of going out toward the northeasterly direction. So I think everybody's back in shape, ready to go. Amanda will lead off. She is a leadoff batter. She's batting in the second position in the bottom half of the third. She's the young lady that hit the home run back in the first inning. So outfielders need to back up for her a little bit. Here's a ball one. So Amanda responsible for the only run for the Lady Chaps. That happened in the bottom of the first. Lined up by Shives, high pitch. Ball 2. What a beautiful afternoon shaping up all across the listening area. All weekend long we're expecting to have some very tolerable weather conditions compared to what we've had earlier in the week. Ball is shallow hit, infield fly. The shortstop says she's got it. It's going to be Taylor Todd. Backed up and realized she needed to come in a little bit. It's just outside the baseline. Makes the catch for out number 1. Holds the runner at first base. Brings up Brittany Ponder. Ponder from Mansfield. Grounded out to the second baseman her first time at bat back in the first inning. Responsible for the first out. Showing bunt. Goes back. Got the outside corners. Right one. She's a left-handed batter. Remember, in softball, it's tight bases. You've got to have a foot on the bag until the ball is released from the pitcher's hand. Foul ball. Runner was going. She'll have to come back on that foul ball. in the batter's box. With an 0-2 count. Shives will wind up and delivers. Oh, swings at the last minute, strike 3. She really didn't want to swing, but somehow, some way, a late swing, and it was way outside, but it'll count as a strikeout. Number 2, and that brings up Amanda Fife. She's the shortstop. It's one of those things you'd sure like to have back. She's probably not proud of that swing and swung very late, but somehow, some way, she thought maybe she'd get a piece of it. Outside ball 1 on 5. Amanda walked her first time at bat. She got caught in a double play back in the first inning. Here's a bunt down the third baseline over to first base, and everybody's safe and sound. That was nicely done by Shives. She actually threw that ball blindly down the first baseline, and it was a strike down to her first baseman, just not in time. I'd like to see a replay on that because Shives did a great job. The ball was running about 6 or 7 feet down the third baseline. She ran up, picked up that ball, and actually released that ball before she could see her first baseman. Sometimes that can be risky, and you can overthrow the ball, miscalculate where the ball's to go, but it was right on target. It was just a little bit late. Kaiser goes to second base, Fife to first, and brings up Carly Gibson in the batter's box with an 0-1 count. Ball is hit into center field. It's strong. It is a home run. A 3-run home run over the center field fence by Carly Gibson. And that will clear the dugout. All of the Lady Shops out to greet her at home plate as she rounds first, second, third, steps on home plate, and is greeted by her teammates. Carly Gibson with a 3-run home run, and that is the second home run of the afternoon. That will improve Lady Shops to a 4-1 lead right now in the bottom half of the third inning with 2 outs. And of course, we'll clear the bases. Nicely done, right over the center field fence. It was just to the left of mid-center field. But boy, you can see the depth on that ball. It was a high hit ball. It just kept sailing. There was no doubt that that was going over the fence once it left the bat. Brings up Amber Cadillo. As the Lady Shops lead 4-1, right over the middle for balls. 1 ball, 1 strike on Amber. This ball game starting about 30 minutes late this afternoon. Low in the dirt, outside ball 2. We're in the bottom half of the third inning. The first 2 innings went pretty quickly. Lady Shops now doing a good job at the bottom of the third. This is batter number 6. Down the first base line, picked up by the first baseman, Brooke Tate. Does the job herself, steps on the bag for a 3-3 play at first base for out number 3, and that is all for Lady Shops. They had a good inning though, scoring 3 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. One of those a home run, no errors, nobody left on base. We've completed 3 of 7. Lady Shops lead 4-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball. We start the top half of the fourth inning from Vernon College. Mike Clappenball with play-by-play action. The Northern Oklahoma Jets coming to bat with Todd, King, and Ship. Katie Jackson remains the pitcher. No lineup changes. Nothing on the defensive side. We still have Cadillo at first, Hamilton at second, Fife at shortstop, Amber Cadillo at third base, and Kaiser catching. Gibson, Onkelon, and Ponder left, center, and right field, respectively. Todd the batter, ball one. Hails from Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Wind up by Jackson, hopped up infield. First baseman says she's got it, lays off her pitcher and says, I can handle this. Makes the catch for out number one. That brings up Bailey King from Boynton. She got a base hit her first time at bat and scored. Eventually scored the only run the Jets have thus far in the ballgame. Now Coach Alvin Jenkins coming out to talk to the umpire behind home plate. He'll get out his little pad and he's going to make a change. I'm not sure what that change is right now. Did not see any defensive changes, but was that for us?
Did you see that umpire talking to us?
Looking back at us, trying to give us some hand signals here, and I'm not sure what he meant to say. So trying to communicate to us, but didn't quite work. Okay. Bailey King in the batter's box, down the third base line, foul ball. It was Amber Cadillo coming about a third of the way up to home plate, expecting maybe a bunt, but it goes foul. No balls, one strike count on Bailey King. One away in the top of the fourth. Doubleheader playing this afternoon. Low. Unusual situation there, low inside. The catcher trying to dig it out of the dirt, got a piece of it and rolled up her arm and then over the backstop into the stands. It's pegged as a ball. Nobody on base. Ball is fouled back out of play. Strike two. And ball, two strikes. On King. Nobody on base. Wind up and delivery. Here is a foul ball down the third base line. Strike two, one ball, two strikes. Lacey Ship on deck and Jasmine White in the hole for the Jets. This program from Northern Oklahoma, only 2 years old. If you joined us late and didn't hear our pregame comments about Northern Oklahoma Jets, they finished the season last year 38-19 in their first year as a softball team, using all freshmen. Went to the state tournament. Got the inside corner, Carter looking for strike three, out number two. That's 2 up, 2 down, brings up Lacey Ship. I met a gentleman who had on the Jets colors before airtime, and I just assumed he had a daughter playing for the Jets, but actually his daughter is the coach. Jamie Roberts' dad is here watching the plays from Weatherford, Texas, and he said, I believe I'll meet him halfway and see my daughter coach these Jets. Nice gentleman. Ball hit down the third base line, foul ball. Break one. Lacey Ship from Perkins, sophomore. A few more people coming in this afternoon. Now we'd like to remind you we will not be airing game 2, so if you can't come out for job reasons, or maybe you've got something going on, then consider coming out for game number 2. Should start I would say in about an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour or so. In between games, it'll take them about 15, 20 minutes to get the infield back in shape before they start the second game. Swing and a miss. Right two. From Ship. Lady Shaps lead 4-1. We're in the top half of the fourth. This game's scheduled for 7. Jackson having a good day in the pitching circle today. Low pitch over the plate but low for ball 1. Spring break is coming up not too long. I know Vernon Independent School District has their spring break beginning Monday the 16th, and following that entire week, most of the public schools will follow that schedule. Down the baseline, out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes, or Ship. And I assume that Vernon College spring break is the same date, 16th through the 19th. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Most of the schools around this neck of the woods will honor that, and a lot of folks taking some trips and what have you during that spring break. Well, I said down the third base line, foul. Got a good piece of it, but it just goes foul. Fades near the fence in foul territory. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lacey Ship last time had a foul ball, a fly out in foul territory. Ground ball, it's their territory down the third baseline. Cadillo not able to get a glove on it. It goes out into left field. Carla Gibson brings it in, not before Ship. Very patient batter, gets a base hit. A ground ball right over the third base bag. Nicely done, a hard hit ball. So runner at first base, 2 outs. That brings up Jasmine White, the catcher for the Jets. First time up, she got a base hit and then caught in a double play, put out at second base. Low pitch, good save by Kaiser. Otherwise, the base runner would have slipped down to second base, kept the ball in front of him. It was low in the dirt. Wind up and a pitch. Down the third baseline, foul ball. I've been trying to see the bottom of the shoes to see if in fact the cleats are clogged with mud, but the batter seems to have a clear bottom of her shoes, which indicates that the field is starting to dry out and it's not clinging. The mud or the soil is not clinging to the bottom of the shoes. A line drive over the third baseman's head, out into left field, a clean base hit for White, and she moves Ship to second base. White content with a base hit, and that's 2 base hits back to back for the Jets, and that brings up the bottom of the batting order, Caroline Hart. There's number 10. She got the base on a fielder's choice. Now the infield comes in. In fact, they bring the entire infield into the pitching circle to discuss the situation there. Runners at first and second base, 2 outs. And I would assume they're reminding everybody we've got to force at any base but home. So you grab a hold of it, somebody's got to cover the bag next to you. Little underhanded pitch over to the nearest base, and you're out of this inning. Sounds easy, huh? Now the batter may think differently. Hart is the DP this afternoon for the Jets. Jackson remains the pitcher. She's been very effective for the Lady Shaps. Pop up. It will be shortstop, saying she's got it. Just in the shallow left center field. Almost lost that one. She almost misjudged that and didn't go back far enough, but does make the catch for out number 3. And that is all for the Jets. They scored no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We have completed 3 1/2 innings of play. Lady Shaps lead 4-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball.
think I'll go home and let you finish the game. You wanna do that for me?
I don't know. I think I would choke.
Have you ever done anything like this?
We enter the bottom half of the fourth inning. Lady Shaps leading 4-1. Shives remains the pitcher. Giving her a few extra warm-up pitches for whatever reason. Here's a throw down to second base, and we're ready to go with the bottom half of the fourth inning. Tori Hamilton will lead off, followed by Miranda Warshears. Then McKenna Umphalan. Tori, first time at bat, did get a single and put out at third base in a rundown, responsible for the second out. So here we go, first pitch at the bottom of the fourth, in there for a call, strike one. Tori is from Cache, Oklahoma. One of the sophomores. Strike call. Lady Shaps using 7 sophomores, 2 freshmen in the lineup this afternoon. Outside, ball 1. Lucas Shives is a very confident pitcher. You can tell she's been in the pitching circle a lot of times. She's got a lot of good experience. Very confident with her pitching. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hamilton. Lady Shaps would like to get some more security runs in this inning if possible. High pitch. Ball 3. We've got a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Hamilton. Shadow's starting to get a little longer out there on the field. Fouls it back, gets a piece of it. Couldn't take a chance. It probably would have been a ball, but it was so close that Hamilton said, I've got to swing and see if I can stay alive here. Fouled it back out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wind up. And it's high. Ball 4. Hamilton very patient, safe at first base on a walk. That brings up Miranda Warshears. They got a base hit the first time at bat. From Arlington. Showing bunt. Goes back outside. Ball 1. Bottom half of the fourth inning. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. It is low and outside for a ball 2. I really like this umpire behind the plate. He's very good at re-emphasizing the count. Here's an attempted bunt. Goes foul for strike 1. He's very verbal. And he's loud enough that we can actually pick up his strike calls, and he is very animated with those strikes, which is good for us. As soon as that strike call is made, you can not only see but you can hear the umpire indicate in his mind it was a strike. Ground ball to the shortstop, charged it, going over to the second base, and everybody safely sound. Taylor Todd approaching that ground ball, came up, fielded it nicely. Bailey King over at second base, covered the bag, but just not in time. Hamilton scoots down to second base, safe and sound. Borchers is safe with a single, and that brings up McKenna Huntelaar. Base runner now coming in place of Borchers. We're going to have Emily Durham from Crowley taking the place of Borchers at first base. A little more speed in the base running. And McKenna Huntelaar, Model Park in the batter's box. She's a center fielder, grounded out her first time at bat, back to the pitcher. It was a ground ball right back to Shines. Runners at first and second. Here's the pitch. It's high. Ball one. Well, if you're tuning in and expecting some regular programming, such as End of the Hours, Top of the Hour News, country music, commodity reports, we've not canceled that, just postponed different times. Here's a bunt right back to the pitcher. Boy, nicely done. That ball rolling dead just past the pitcher, just short of the shortstop being able to pick that up. That was really no man's land. It was to the right of the pitcher toward the third base bag, but short enough where the shortstop couldn't pick it up. So a nice, clean, safe bunt by Huntelaar, and moves Hamilton to third, and Durham in place of Borchers goes to second base. Huntelaar is safe at first. Nicely done there. Bases are loaded, nobody out, and we already have 2 base hits chalked up for the Lady Shops in the bottom of the 4th. Brings up Corey Kaiser. Now Coach Melvin Jenkins wants to talk to his third base runner and his batter. In the meantime, Coach Jamie Roberts comes out to talk with her infield, making sure they understand their strategy. Nobody out, bases loaded, and of course the infield wants to go to home plate. They've got a force at home plate if there's a ground ball. And all Kaiser has to do is to hit it over the infield because they're playing way inside. All 4 infielders, first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, and third baseman, all inside the baseline, expecting to get anything on the ground back to home plate in time to keep the run from scoring. Here's the pitch. It is a ball strike 1. So this is a very crucial part of the ballgame right now. We're leading 4-1, and a nice hit could score a couple of runs here. We have nobody out, so we've got a couple of chances here. Showing bunt, and it is just foul. That was going to be a suicide squeeze attempt. Kaiser was supposed to bunt that down the third baseline far enough where the third baseman had to come get it. Third baseman was already prepared to run in as hard as she could, but it just went foul. Good strategy. It just didn't quite work because it was a foul ball. Attempted bunt. Here we go again. Outside. Everybody holding fast here. Back in the batter's box. Nobody out, the base is loaded. Here's the pitch. Gets a piece of it, fouls it. Ooh, it must have gotten off their foot. She's limping. Fouled it back on top of her foot. I'm not sure that was the left or right, but she's limping around trying to stay off the crane. She'll stay in the batter's box though. It doesn't hurt for very long. When it happens, you feel like you've broken something. Looks like it's going to be her right foot. She's holding it. She's all right. So she's back in the batter's box now. Ground ball to the third baseman. Bobbles the ball. Everybody's safe and sound. And that will be an error on the third baseman's part. Should have been an easy out at home plate. Just couldn't get her glove on it. So a 5-3 will be chalked up. The run will score. Everybody wins the bases. And Kaiser on the fielder's short attempt, and it is a 5-1 score. 5-1. Lady Shaps lead. In the batter's box now is Amanda Cadillo. Ball one. Wander on deck. Base is still loaded. Nobody out. Pretty good inning. Shake it up for Lady Shaps here. High pitch. Ball two. Wind coming in from the southwest. Wind up, pitch, gets away from the catcher, gonna try for home plate. Oh, caught her in a rundown throw to third base. They bobbled the ball and missed an opportunity. So the Lady Shaps got out of a close one there. The third base runner was Durham. She was about halfway to home plate. The catcher made a nice recovery after losing that ball, threw down to the third baseman, and she missed the ball, or else it would have been an easy plan at third base. So base is still loaded. Cadillo in the batter's box, and therefore a ball strike. Again with a full with bases loaded. Wind up and the pitch. Slow, gets away from the catcher. That was ball four. So they will walk in a run. That will walk in Durham from third base. Onfelon goes to third. Kaiser goes to second. Cadillo walks in for a 6-1 score. 6-1 the score with Ponder the batter. Ball is hit down to the third baseline. Foul ball. Wow, he really called that foul ball a little quick as that ball rolled down the third baseline. Foul, fair, foul, fair. The umpire called it foul. Thought he should have waited a little longer to see that ball was going to creep back into fair territory, but it did not. Outside, bases loaded. Ponder in the batter's box. Down the third baseline, going to home plate. They get the force, and that will be out number one. And Ponder on base on that fielder's choice. Brings up Fife in the batter's box. 6-1 the score in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Strike one call on Fife. Gibson on deck. Still bases loaded. This is a good inning for the Lady Shaps. This is batter number 7. Oh, high inside. One ball, one strike count. Wind up. Ball is hit over the third baseman in foul territory. Did a nice job, almost ran into the base runner. And in foul territory, took her glove hand, which is on her left hand, crossed the body and made a catch in foul territory for out number 2. And that brings up Carly Gibson. There's number 18. She got a home run her last time at bat. It was a 3-run home run. It's now a 6-1 score. Right over the middle for a ball, strike one. This is batter number 8 in the bottom of the fourth. Little off-speed pitch, trying to get it in the strike zone, goes high for a ball. Looking for a nice pitch here on the 1-1 count. Outside, good save by the catcher. She wondered Use her body to keep that ball from getting away from her. Jasmine White is the catcher. Pitcher Shy is getting a little bit inconsistent with her pitches right now. A little bit inconsistent compared to what she was in the first inning. Ground ball, foul ball, down the third base line. Still bases loaded. 2 balls, 2 strikes. One Gibson. Here's the pitch. Ball is hit foul. Back to the catcher. 2-2 count. Lady Shaps would really like to get some more security runs. They're leading by 5 runs right now, 6-1. Like to go to the top of the 5th with some of these base runners crossing the plate. Outside pitch, ball 3. So we got a full count now. Bases loaded, full count, 2 outs. Pitcher Shines has to go into the strike or a walk will score a run. And it's ball 4. And that will score. That moves Eisler in. Moves down the bases. Still bases loaded. That brings up batter number 9, Amber Cadillo, in the batter's box. It is an 8-1 call. Score for the Lady Shaft right now. High pitch inside, ball 1. Getting into this inning, leading 4-1. We've scored 3 runs so far. Still bases loaded with 2 outs. Outside. Coach Roberts has got to be a little bit concerned about her pitcher right now. She walks another batter, scores another run. We could possibly see a pitching change here. The it's low. She's having trouble finding that strike zone. It's good news for the Lady Shaps. She's got to be patient. 3 balls and 1 strike count. Another ball scores another run. Her third baseman comes over to give her a little bit of encouragement. Slaps her on the back, and we're ready to go again. Another crucial pitch right here. Amber's going to wait for that strike, and down the third baseline, steps on the bag. That's a force for out number 3, and that is all for the Lady Shaps. However, they had a great inning, scoring 3 runs on only 2 hits, actually. 1 error. And 3 left on base. We have completed 4 innings, and the Lady Shaps lead 7-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball. We now go into the top half of the 5th inning. This game's scheduled for 7. The top of the batting order coming up for the Jets. Lady Shaps leads 7-1. And keep in mind, we're getting pretty close to the 8-run rule after 5. Not quite there right now, but if we can hold the Jets to no runs here, come back at the bottom of the 5th, get in this game a little bit early, get ready for game number 2. But that remains to be seen, and of course the Jets have another outlook on that as well. Lauren Dester is the batter, starting the third round of batting. She's the third baseman for the Jets. Katie Jackson still remains the pitcher for the Lady Shaps. No changes in the defense. This foul back into the netting. Strike one. Light blue skies, don't have current temperature, but a little nippy, but still the sun's shining. Makes it really nice for some outside activities for a change. At the high school level, we'll kind of fill you in on what we do know in the way of some sports. The golfers canceled their golf tournament at Wichita Falls scheduled for today. Track and field canceled the track meet at Wichita Falls because of weather. However, baseball, our boys, a 3-day tournament out of Burke Burnett, they canceled Thursday. They're playing today and Saturday. And the Lady Lions are playing in Wichita Falls, actually at Henrietta. They scheduled it for Windthorst, moved it to Henrietta. We understand they lost to Seymour 1-0 this morning. They're scheduled to play the Hazel JV this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Those games to be played in Henrietta. They'll also play some games tomorrow as well. Got the inside corner, strike 3, caught Dester looking on that one, and that's out number 1. Then so it takes care of baseball and softball and golf and track. The Shaps are scheduled to go to Weatherford tomorrow for a doubleheader. A lot of sporting action lined up for this weekend. And here's a hit pitch. Caught Walker, Avery Walker on the inside leg. She's not hurt. She trots down to first base on a hit pitch. So with one out, runner at first brings up the pitcher for the Jets, Shives. They ground out to the shortstop and a fly out to center field. She's 0 for 2 in the batter's box this afternoon. Wind up, pitches high, gets away from our catcher, and the base runner grounds second and attempts to go to third base, but they retrieve that ball back to the pitcher in time, so Walker is safe at second base on an overthrown pitch. The infield now comes in, and Coach Melvin Jenkins wants to call his infield in to settle him down just a bit. Do have a note from Robbie Spencer. The Ryder game has been canceled. The field is not dry enough. Still waiting on news of the Old High game. So we talked about our Vernon Lions scheduled 2 games this afternoon against Ryder and Wichita Falls High. Ryder, they were supposed to play that ball game at 4 o'clock, but according to Coach Spencer, they had to cancel that because it was just too wet at Wichita Falls, and they're scheduled to play Old High at 6:30. It's still waiting to see where they can play that ball game. And our trusty engineer tells me it's 57 degrees at the present time. That's pretty warm considering what we've had. I think it was down to, if I'm not mistaken, 12 degrees sometime this week. Early one morning, it bounced around from 12 to 13 to 17 degrees for several hours there. So if you don't like the weather around here, just stick around a little while. It gets different. It may not be what you like, but it'll change. So we were back in the top half of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss on Shives for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at second base in the top of the 5th. By the way, daylight savings time starts Sunday. It's early this year. Congress voted to start it early, so rather than waiting for a couple of months down the road, it is this Sunday morning officially at 2 a.m. The common sense thing to do is Saturday night. We'll get that in a moment. Infield fly, first baseman has to shade her eyes, almost got caught with the sun right in her eyes. She got a big smile on her face as if to say, wow, I barely made that catch. You could see her glove moving. And now she's talking to her second baseman saying, see, you know, I really got blinded by the sun, but she did a good job and made the catch. Route number 2 at holds the runner at second base, brings up Brooke Tate. Daylight savings time, practical thing to do is to move your clock ahead 1 hour on Saturday night. In other words, if you go to bed at 10 p.m., move it to 11 p.m. If you go to bed at 11, put it at midnight. And that way you'll be ready for Sunday's activities, church services, and beyond. Otherwise, you're going to be late on Sunday. Low inside pitch, ball 2. That means it'll be darker in the morning and it'll stay lighter in the afternoon a little longer. Have more outside activity, daylight outside activity time with daylight savings time in the afternoons. Line drive to the second baseman, that is Tori Hamilton, makes an adjustment to her right, makes the catch, route number 3, and that is all for the Jets. They scored no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base, 4 1/2 innings complete. Lady Shaps lead 7-1. We'll be back in 1 minute. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral softball. Okay, let's score 2 runs. We'll be done, huh? That's the goal. So pull out of our bag of tricks.
Just hit 2 more home runs, make it easy.
That would be good. We enter the bottom half of the 5th inning. This game is scheduled for 7. Lady Shaps leads 7-1, so a 6-run lead. And of course, the rule states after 5 innings of a 7-inning ball game, if one team has 8 runs or more, then they call the game at that point in the game. So the goal for the Lady Shaps this inning is to score 2 runs. Tori Hamilton will lead off. It's a good contest between these 2 teams. Northern Oklahoma, located in Enid, about 3.5 hours away. Strike 1 call. By the way, they have a nice traveling bus, a big old, what I would call a big old Greyhound bus. It's a nice, convenient bus with the black and red colors. Didn't see the inside, but it looks pretty nice from the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hamilton. But Enid, Oklahoma is straight north of here. Wind up, pitch, out the outside corners, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Looks like we've got some parents here supporting their respective teams. Ground ball to the first baseman. That is Brooke Tate. Fields the ball herself. Picks it up, steps on the bag for a 3-3 play, out number 1. Brings up Borchers. Miranda is the DP. 2 base hits this afternoon. And Miranda, she had a substitute runner for her who scored a run in the 4th inning. It was Durham who, after she hit that base hit, Durham came in to run the bases for her. A little low, ball 1. Wind up, low, over the plate, but low for ball 2. McKenna Ontalon is the on-deck batter. At the outside corners, make 1 call on Miranda. Speaking of parents, you can see who they're for. They're wearing the colors of their favorite teams. They're Vernon College fans. They've got on the blue and white. There's a ball hit into center field. Line drive pretty much as Avery Walker makes her way left toward the left to the right center field. It'll be to her left and makes the catch for out number 2. Makes it McKenna Antolon. And for the Jets, we've got some parents wearing black and red. And that's what they should be, supporting their favorite teams here. 2 up, 2 down. Antolon in the batter's box, swings and gets it fouls for strike 1. Lady Shaps have last bats if they need them. They're leading by 6 runs right now. Wind up and pitch. Ball is hit into right field. Drops in on the one hopper. Picked up by Ship in right field. Antolon safe at first base with 2 outs. Brings up Corey Kaiser. Kaiser, the catcher, already had on some of her catching gear, so she has to take the time to take off part of her catching equipment and walks up in the batter's box. Bats right-handed. Batting for the 3rd time, got on base on the fielder's choice and a base hit. Outside low, ball 1. Had 2 home runs, I guess, hit this afternoon. One over the left field fence, one over the center field fence for the Lady Shaps. Runner at first is going, gets away from the catcher, and it's a nice trot down to second base. By Antolon. What's the deal there? They call that an out?
Maybe they called her.
Oh, I guess she left too soon, I guess. It was Antolon leaving. The umpire at first base called it, and apparently McKenna left too early from her base. You gotta have tight bases until the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. She left too soon, and that is an automatic out, so that retires the sides with no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We have completed 5. We'll be back in 1 minute. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball.
Well, that plan didn't work.
Yeah.
What's your position?
I'm a catcher.
Catcher. Are you injured?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the top half of the 6th. This game scheduled for 7. This is KVLBC AM and KVLBC FM in Vernon. It's 3 o'clock and you're listening to Lady Chaparral Softball from the campus of Vernon College Cricket Field. And this is a 7-inning ball game of non-conference play this afternoon under sunny skies, a little nippy, 57 degrees, but certainly nice for the players. And it'll be Taylor Todd, kicking it off for the Jets. There's number 14, batting for the 3rd time. She needs, for her personal stats, she is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Plays shortstop. And again, Katie Jackson comes back in the pitching circle. She started the ball game and she will start the 6th inning. So from her perspective, she would like for this game to end a little early. She would have to pitch 2 more innings. Strike 1 call. – 7-1 lead. Lady Shaps lead by 6. Only run for the Jets came in the 2nd inning. High pitch, ball 1. It was Bailey King who scored the run. She got on base with a base hit and then was hit around by a couple of her teammates. Eventually scored the only run so far in the ball game for the Jets. High pitch, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 Right. Wind up in the pitch. Ball is hit into left field. The shortstop says she's got it. Actually catches that ball in foul territory. It was probably about 30 feet behind third base. I thought the left fielder would have a chance for it, but Fife goes over, calls her off and says, I've got it, and makes the catch in foul territory for out number one. He's a Bailey King. Base hit and a strikeout. 1 for 2. Low pitch, ball 1. Ground ball, third baseman picks it up. Sister to sister, that's Cadillo to Cadillo. Amber to Amanda. 5-3 play. Out number 2. Twin sisters, Amber and Amanda. They were here last year. Lacey Ship is the batter. They're from Garland, Texas, by the way. Pitch. Oh, and right back to the catcher over the head, and legal play there. Catcher Kaiser making the catch in foul territory for out number 3. So that was a quick 3 up, 3 down with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base after 5 1/2 innings of play. Lady Shaps lead 7-1. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral softball.
Okay, 2 runs. Come on, girls. Let's do it. You gonna be able to get back into playing, or you got a season injury?
Hopefully I'll get to play soon.
Yeah. Did you get injured on the field?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you do?
Fractured my finger.
What?
I fractured my finger.
Was that offense or defensive injury? Were you batting or fielding?
I was fielding and she stepped on it.
Back at Kirk Field, Mike Kloppenblatt with play-by-play action. We enter the bottom half of the 6th inning. Lady Shaps coming to bat using the bottom of the batting order. Corey Kaiser, the catcher, who was responsible for the 3rd out, making the catch. Little pop-up in foul territory. Now batting for the 3rd time. Shines remains the pitcher for the Jets. First pitch, high, ball 1. Corey is from Willow Park. One of the 2 freshmen starting Lady Shaps this afternoon. No changes in the lineup thus far. Down the 3rd baseline, foul ball. Once again, we would like to remind you this is a doubleheader, and which means we've got game 2 coming up. Following this, it'll take about 15-20 minutes to rake the infield, get it back in good shape. That should take 15-20 minutes or so to do that. Here's a pop-up in shallow right field, drops in for a base hit. It's over the second baseman's head. A Ship in right field has to come up hard and fast, but not in time, so Kaiser gets a single, safe at first. That brings up the top of batting with Amanda Cadillo, batting for the 4th time. A home run, a walk, and a flyout. Her 3 times at bat this afternoon. First baseman for the Lady Shaps. Low, maybe outside, ball 1. Wind up. Strike 1 call. 1 ball, 1 strike. So we'll try to recap some of the other sports going on while this one is still in play. high school girls are playing Azle JV this afternoon. They're scheduled 4 o'clock, so they've got another hour before they actually kick that one off in Henrietta. Lost to Seymour 1-0 earlier this morning in that tournament that was scheduled in Windthorst. Oh, and then transferred to Henrietta. And here's a hit pitch. Why was that not a hit pitch? Hit her in the back. So she moved into it. Wow. Maybe it didn't hit her. I sure thought it hit her. It is a wild pitch. 3-1 count. Gets away from the catcher. Runner goes to second base. Apparently didn't hit her. I sure thought it did. That was one of those balls that was so inside it was outside. It was on the back side of the batter. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. High pitch, ball forward, and she walks. That puts the winning run at first base right now by the 8-run rule after 5. Brings up Brittany Ponder. Nobody out. Ground out, a strikeout, and base on a fielder's choice for 3 times at bat this afternoon. Eventually put out at third base back in the 4th inning. Outside, ball 1. Could be the Lady Shaps' last at bat here in this game number 1. They can hold the Jets in the top of the 7th. Foul ball down the third baseline. Strike 1. Got a pretty full schedule of Chaparral and Lady Chaparral baseball softball games lined up for the spring of 2015. Just now getting most of them going this week. This is the second one we've aired. The Lady Chaps will be back over at Chaparral Field in the days and weeks to come with their home games. Lined up to pitch. Slaps it back to the pitcher, going to third base on the force. Do they get her? Yes, they got her just barely in the force. Kaiser can't get there in time, so that's out number 1. Moves Cadillo to second base, Ponder on base on the fielder's choice at first base. 1 away. And that brings up Amanda Fife. A walk, base hit, and a fly out in foul. It's a foul out and down the third baseline. Amanda's a lefty facing a left-handed pitcher. Low pitch, ball 1. 1 out. 7-1 to score. If you joined us late, 7-1. Vernon scored 1 run in the first, 3 runs in the third, and 3 in the fourth. Swings and misses. That was a good hard swing there. Strike 1. She was going for the fence on that swing. That was just about as hard as she could swing right there. Got nothing but air. Runners at first and second. 1-1 count. Hits one to the shortstop. Picks it up right on the ground. Got her glove on the ground, so she was able to catch that as a fly ball. And so that is out number 2. Holds the runners at first and second base. That brings up Carly Gibson. Two outs, bottom of the 6th. Ball is hit hard in center field. Center fielder Walker says she's got it. Moves to her right, a little toward left center field. Makes the catch for out number 3, and that's all for the Lady Shaps. Scoring no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We have completed 6. We're going to the top of the 7th in 60 seconds. This is Vernon College, Chaparral baseball, softball. We'll take a 60-second break. This is Lady Chaparral softball. right, once again, we'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Lady Chaparral Softball. Getting ready for the top half of the 7th inning. Northern Oklahoma Jets coming to bat, and this will be their last opportunity at the bat. Jasmine White will be the first batter in the top half of the 7th inning. Caroline Hart is on deck, and the top of the batting order is Dester. White is batted twice, 2 base hits. And it'll be Katie Jackson finishing it off, starting the top half of the 7th inning. This game's scheduled for 7. The Lady Chaps lead 7-1. Ball is popped up, foul back out of play for strike one. Nobody on base. Nice, beautiful afternoon for college softball. Low inside pitch for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jasmine White. She's a catcher. More Oklahoma. Low inside pitch. High inside, excuse me, not low, but high inside pitch for ball 2. So the Jets are trying to avoid 3 outs here, trailing 7-1. This is a 7-inning ball game, and they're on the top of the 7th. So Lady Chaps do not have to bat, of course, in the bottom of the 7th if they maintain their 6-run lead here. So all they have to do is contain the Jets to less than 6 runs. Wind up and the pitch. Fouls it back. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hart is on deck at the top of the batting order. Dester in the hole, representing the top of the batting order for the Jets. Wind up by Jackson. Ball is hit down the third base line, but it's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Umpire needs a few more of the softballs for those foul balls and so forth to replenish his sacks. Let's see, umpire behind the plate, making sure he's got the right count. It's a 3-2 count, full count on White with nobody out. Here's the pitch. Oh, that's a hitter. What was that? Why do they not count that as a pitch?
I don't know.
Count is 3-2. I could have sworn it hit her, but maybe she moved into it. I can't explain what happened on that. There was a pitch, but it was a 3-2 count. Still a 3-2 count. And it's a low pitch for ball 4, and White will walk. Puts her at first base with nobody out. In the top half of the 7th inning. That brings up Hart. Now we're going to have a substitution. Maybe not. Hart is coming up to bat. She's the VP. She's 0 for 2. And it's going to be a courtesy runner over at first base in place of White. Checking in is going to be Swan. Jocelyn Swan. She's from Kellyville. Sophomore. She'll be a base runner in place of White. Be the first base runner we've seen for the Jets this afternoon. So Caroline Hart still the batter. She is the DP this afternoon with looking for her first base hit, trying to keep this drive going if they can create the drive here, trying by 6 runs. Runner at first base. 3 outs is all the Lady Shaps need in order to claim victory here in the top half of the 7th. Right over the middle for a call. Strike 1. A lot of cancellations and postponements of sporting events this latter part of the week because of the weather. As we said earlier, the Vernon Lions were scheduled to play this afternoon at 4. They have canceled that game with Ryder. They're scheduled to play with Tall Falls time at 6:30. We're not sure whether they're going to get that one in or not. Ball is popped up, out of play, right behind us, just above the windows for strike 2. I'm sure you heard that in the field, Mike. All it needed to go was about 4 feet lower, and it would have been inside the windows. 0-2 count. Runner at first base. Jackson taking plenty of time in between pitches. High pitch. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hart. Jackson has done a very good job from start to finish here this afternoon. Very consistent pitching. There's a pop-up, back out of play behind us in the stands. There's a 1-2 count. Northern Oklahoma came into this contest 9 wins, 3 losses, all non-conference play. They're scheduled to go to Tishomingo this next week, according to Coach Roberts. This one outside, framed by Kaiser, hoping the umpire would change his mind, but he says, nope, that was too high and outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another 7-inning ball game is also planned after this one, about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. They will begin game number 2. Trying to get it in before the sun settles. Runner going down to second base. Did they get her? No, Mr. Safe and Sound. A pretty nice throw by Kaiser. Our shortstop, 5, covering that bag, but it was White. Actually, it was the base runner for White, scooting in under the tag, safe and sound at second base in scoring position. Taking some chances. That was Swan, the base runner. So Hart in the batter's box with a 3-2 count. Swings and misses for strike 3, and that is out number 1. Lady Shaps just 2 outs away at winning the game this afternoon. Brings up the top of the batting order. Dexter. She started the 4th round of batting with 2 strikeouts and based on an error by the shortstop. Lined up by Jackson. Strike 1 call. Avery Walker is on deck. 7-1 lead for the Lady Shaps. They've led this entire ball game. Ball is fouled back into the netting for strike 2. Led 1-0. Got 3 runs in the 3rd, 3 runs in the 4th for their 7 runs, while the Jets got their only run in the 2nd. Inside pitch, ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Track and field not able to get running this week. Swing and best, strike 3, gets away from the catcher, got to throw her out. Close, she's safe. Got a second chance, and she's safe at first base. It puts the runner from second down to 3rd, so the runner's at the corners. We have a chance to be 2 outs, runner at second. Ends up being 1 out, runners at the corners. That brings up Avery Walker. And another courtesy runner over at first base. I'll pick that number up for you, number 2. That's going to be, no, that's going to be Dexter. So Dexter remains in as a courtesy runner. And Walker is the batter. So the Jets still have a way to go as far as their drive back here. Trailing by 6 runs, but they've got a couple of them on bases right now. Swing and a miss, strike one. Runner at first, trots down to second. No pressure there, so 2 runners in scoring position in the top of the 7th. Shives on deck, Tate in the hole. Wind up. Inside. Ball 1. Jackson again, showing bunt, right down the first baseline. Everybody's safe. Drops the ball, and that was a nicely placed situation there. Now the throw down to second base. They've got a runner in between first and second base. A run has scored, trying to tag her out. Can they do it? They drop the ball. She goes down to second base, and they finally tag her. An unusual effort by the base runner. And let's see what happens there. They're going to say that the runner is safe because there was interference by our defense not allowing the runner to get to second base. Is that the call? I believe it is. And in all that unusual situation, White will score a run to make it a 7-2 score. Dester scores from second base to make it a 7-3 score, and then Walker ends up at second base and should have been put out there, but because of an interference call by the defense, she's safe at second base. That was a bunt by Walker. It ended up scoring 2 runs. An unusual play there to make it a 7-3 score, runner at second base, and only 1 out. Wow. Nicely placed. The bunt was about 6 or 7 feet down the first baseline. Now the infield for Vernon College comes in to regroup, trying to make sure they don't do something like that again. Still 1 out, so 2 outs to go. Shives is the batter. She's also the pitcher. So you can get so close, but yet so far away from winning the ball game, anticipating. Well, let's see. That may or may not be right. Outside pitch because it is Shives still in the batter's box. She's got a 2-1 count. Low pitch. No defensive changes so far for Lady Shaps. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Here's the pitch. Ball hit hard down the first base line. Foul ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gets away on the throw over to the pitcher, but the third baseman fields it over there for her. Goes over to the dugout in Lady Shap territory. And remains at second base. This ball game is not a done deal yet for the Lady Shaps. Started at 1:30, so we're 2 hours in progress right now. Low outside pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. That's the proper count. 3 balls, 1 strike. A little confusion on everybody's part here, that's for sure. You know there's 1 out. High pitch, ball forward, and Shives will walk and puts runners at first and second base, still with 1 out. And Brooke Tate will come up to the batter's box. And now we're going to have a pitching change as Katie Jackson says, I've had enough, or at least Coach Jenkins says she's had enough, so we've got a brand new pitcher to come in to try to finish this ball game out. We're in the top half of the 7th, 7-3, Lady Shaps lead by 4, runners at first and second base. We're going to go back and take a 1-minute break. This is Vernon College Lady Chaparral Softball. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
You trying to stay warm?
Yeah, this is a nice day today.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was nice down there. I've been down there. It's nice down there too.
Hey, Mark, I'm not sure what happened there, but at the end of that inning, I didn't get a break in there somewhere, so I'm not sure exactly what happened. I just wanted to make sure that you were still in that in, taking this break here. We're back in the top half of the seventh inning. One away, runners at first and second base. Jets from Northern Oklahoma batting, trailing by 4 runs. Brooke Tate, the batter, she's a righty, batting for the 4th time, a base hit, a ground out, and a flyout. 1 of 3. The new pitcher for the Lady Chaps is May Lewis. May Lewis, a freshman from Montgomery, trying to finish it out here for Lady Chaps this afternoon. She's a right-hander. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Runner is going second base to third, tries to pick her off, can't do it. She's safe and sound, so runners are now at the corners with an 0-2 count on Tate. Now again, the difference is 4 runs, so the Jets not only have to get the batter around, but 1 more on-deck batter around in order to force this into the bottom of the 7th. Now let's see, we got another courtesy runner, that's what it is. Paul's in the action, and coming out is going to be Ashley Williams to run at first base in place of Shives, the pitcher. All kinds of strategy changes going on by both coaches trying to put up the best performance. 0-2 count on Brooke Tate. May Lewis looks over the base runners, winds up, outside, good save. Runner at first base, trots down to second, with her in further scoring position. No force now at the second base bound. Tate with a 1-2 count. Strike 3, caught her looking on that one. That was a nice inside pitch thrown by May Lewis. That is her first strikeout, and that is out number 2. All they need is 1 more out to claim victory here, leading 7-3. That brings up Taylor Todd. Outside, nice save again by Kaiser. Taylor is looking for her first base hit, 2 flyouts and a ground out, 0 for 3, batting for the 4th time. Wind up and the pitch. Ball is hit into left field, but foul territory. Break 1 ball, 1 strike. Bailey King on deck and Lacey Ship in the hole. May Lewis says she likes 1 ball over the other to give her opportunity to get a fresh softball. Let's see if she can deliver here on a 1-1 count. Low inside pitch. Could be a ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike count. 2 outs, top half of the 7th. Runners at second and third. Lewis delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 2. 1 strike away from a victory for the Lady Chaps. Non-conference play here at Kirk Field. 2-2 count. Todd is from Zapulpa. Wind up. Swings and misses for strike 3, and that's the ball game. Final score 7-3. The Vernon College Lady Shaps defeating the Northern Oklahoma Jets. So we're going to, instead of going back for a 2-minute